How are you doing? Welcome to the weekly Woodworking Wrap-Up Review, episode number 47. I'm your host, David Pachuto, the Drunken Woodworker, and this is a show where we highlight active woodworkers in the community and talk about the latest woodworking news and events. And today we got some great woodworking videos to highlight, how I did at my handmade show this past weekend in Cleveland, and much more. So grab a drink and stick around. Today I got the Pliny the Elder beer. This was sent to me by one of my viewers. I threw the box away that it came in, and I have the note here, and it's signed Future Viking. So I didn't get the name, I just have the note here, and it says Future Viking. So I don't know. I have friends out in California that just absolutely love this beer, so I'm going to try it here for the first time. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. It's got a really crazy high rating on Beer Advocate. Also, I got this sweet bottle opener in the mail. Who sent this to me? This is Daniel Valesky sent me this bottle opener, and if you can see that, it's got a penny and a magnet in there, and that magnet catches the lid. It's really clever. He was giving me ideas for cheap items that I could sell at my handmade shows, and Daniel, he does a lot of these shows as well, and he does a lot of alcohol based stuff like I do, like beer totes and growler totes and 12-pack cases and wine and bottle carriers. So good stuff. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Future Viking, for this awesome stuff. Thank you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. All right. So I was at my handmade show in Cleveland, just a couple hours away from here in Toledo, and I met some awesome people there in Cleveland. And Jason Bradshaw made this and gave this to me. Check this out. That is so beautiful. It's made on a laser cutter, and he wants to get into like woodworking and art, as I want to do more of that, and this is really inspiring. Just the outer shape is different than the inner shapes. As you can see, they kind of arrow through. It's just really good design. I love that. Jason, it was awesome meeting you, so thank you. A new book. This is called Calvin Cobb, Radio Woodworker, and this is by everybody's favorite woodworker, Roy Underhill. I just got this book the other day, and Roy wrote a novel, which might be the very first woodworking novel ever made. It just has that old-timey feel, like a very classic book. So I'm looking forward to reading that after Christmas. That is put out by Lost Art Press, a publisher in like northern Kentucky. So good stuff. Speaking of Kentucky, check this out. Check this out. That's my t-shirt, and that says, can you read that? Kentucky Live Edge. My buddies down there got a woodworking shop down there, and they're doing some awesome stuff. So thank you guys for sending me the t-shirt. And so before we get into our videos, I wanted to let you know about the new channel put out by Steve Ramsey and Jay Bates, and that is called The Home and Garden for Mere Mortals. Both of those people are good people. Both of those people have helped me out with my website and my channel and given me ideas on how to grow. So I love them both, and I wish them luck on their new channels. So alright, let's dive into this week's videos. First video, making a walnut mounted bar by Adventures in DIY. This is a cool project. It's got some edge banding on there with a little mixture of paint and natural shellac finish. It's held up with a French cleat wall mount. So good stuff, Adventures in DIY. I've been waiting to show off that channel for a while now. Alright, next video, pallet wood wave dresser. This is super cool. This is by BeachBumLivin, and he has not made any videos in a long time. And before I started the weekly wrap up, he used to have a pretty popular channel, and I think he moved or something, and so he stopped making videos, and everybody wondered what happened to him. And so he's finally back, and his workshop I think he's going to college. I could be wrong, but I think he's going to college. So his entire workshop is in a storage unit, and he's figured out how to get power to his tools, and he's using a lot of battery operated stuff. I love the fact that he's just taken his limitations and he's just running with it. And this is his first project. It's a chest of drawers that he got from Walmart, real cheap, and then he's just taken some reclaimed wood from pallets and covering up and doing something I've never seen anybody else do before. So awesome video. Good to see BeachBumLivin back. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. All right, next video. Make a reader's bookstand by my next door neighbor, Chad Stanton of Wood Choppin Time. Chad just lives a couple roads down from me, and him and Safety Dan have been putting out these videos for a long time, and they're awesome, they're funny, and they're full of humor and just crazy antics and stuff. Chad's work is phenomenal. He's just really good, and he's been doing this for a long time. It's what he does for a living. So his projects are just high quality. And he's been a contributor to a couple of the major woodworking magazines, and I just wanted to give a shout out and highlight Chad's video. So what's up, Chad Stanton and Safety Dan? Good stuff. All right, next video, a simple end table by Shaving Wood. Tom's videos have gotten really good lately. It's just a really well explained project. From what I understand, he recently lost a portion of his workshop due to a fire that his neighbor caused, and which is very unfortunate. So it's always important to have the proper insurance on things when things like this happen. But he's able to rebuild a shop. He's gotten new camera equipment, and this, I believe, is his first video since rebuilding his shop, and it is fantastic. It's well explained, good stuff, simple end table just like he explains, but it looks elegant and beautiful. All right, next video, Queen Anne chair building process by Doucette and Wolfe furniture makers. This company puts out the most high-end, beautiful furniture I've ever seen, and I love it when they document the process. They don't really explain how things are done, but usually in their videos, it's just showing the process from beginning to end with some beautiful music, and you just get to see how high-quality furniture is made. So you want to check out Queen Anne chair building process by Doucette and Wolfe furniture makers. Hopefully, I am saying that name right. All right, and then finally, making a U.S. flag end grain cutting board by MTMwood. I just wanted to quickly show this off because I've never seen a cutting board done like this. It's end grain, and it's all in the shape of the United States flag. It just looks really cool. If I'm not mistaken, MTMwood is out of Russia, and this was a custom order. So just beautiful stuff. His cutting boards are phenomenal. Woo! Alright, so there are a bunch more videos in the playlist down below, so you want to check that out. Moving right along to our tweets using the hashtag WWWR, and this one comes from Scott Engelmaker. In episode 46, you mentioned you love your drum sander. What drum sander do you use that you wish you had a bigger one? I have the Jet 1020 drum sander, which means the 1020 is I can sand 10 inches at a time, but it's got an open end, so I can flip the board around and do the other half of it. So I can do boards up to 20 inches. Mostly I just want the next size up so I can get all these boards done in one pass, because a lot of times I'm batching out stuff. And it actually is kind of difficult on these drum sanders, at least for me, to get the drum to be perfectly parallel with the table. It takes a lot of finesse. So to do one end, flip it around to do the other end, it might not be perfectly flat. And so I get a lot of questions like, what grit do you keep on there? And I use 120 grit, and I never change it. So I don't do any final sanding with it. I'm using it mostly for micro thicknessing and removing bandsaw marks when I'm resawing. If you do resawing, having a drum sander is a huge time saver. I just love it. So thank you. You can ask me more questions on Twitter using the hashtag WWWR, and I'll pick out my favorite and put them on next week's episode. All right, podcasts that have happened in the past week. Wood Talk number 207. Modern Woodworkers Association number 65, and Making It number 4, which is called Getting Started. And if you're not familiar with it, Making It is an audio podcast that myself, Jimmy DiResta, and Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff are doing. And it's not a woodworking podcast, it's just a podcast about making stuff with your hands, and we talk a lot about creativity and design and just getting going and getting that flow and the process in the shop. Whether you're a woodworker or you're working in other mediums, it doesn't matter. This is for everybody who makes something. It's just all about creativity and design, and we're having a really good time. We're getting some good feedback on that. So check out Making It number 4, called Getting Started, with Jimmy DiResta and Bob Claggett. Love those guys. They're so fun to talk to. Last weekend, I was a vendor at Manly Mart. It's a craft show for men by men, and it is in Cleveland, which is about 2 hours away from me. And it was a 2-day show. It was my first 2-day craft show that I've ever done. Well, on day 1, there was a protest march that happened right in downtown where where Manly Mart was. And so police urged all the businesses to shut down and everybody to go home early. They said for traffic reasons, but I think they were actually thinking they didn't want the protest to get out of hand and people to get hurt. So that hurt business pretty darn bad. So if police evacuate the city, you're not going to get a lot of customers coming in to buy stuff. So on day 2, it was much better. Day 2 was much better, but it was still a little disappointing because a couple weeks ago, as you recall from the last woodworking wrap-up review, I did pretty well. And this time I brought in $500 total over 2 days, where my last show a couple weeks ago I did $800 in just 1 day. And so, it was not a total bust. Here's what I sold. I sold $1, or I sold one $60 cutting board. I sold 4 $50 beer totes, 4 $30 wine displays, 1 $20 finger joint box, a $20 bracelet, and 2 $40 candle flights. And I don't think any of the vendors had a good day, at least the ones that I talked to. It just wasn't enough foot traffic there for the 2 days. But what made the whole thing totally worth it is I got to meet a few of you. Like Jason came up and gave me this. Another guy came up and buy me a beer money, and then another guy actually brought me beer. So it was so cool to meet some of you guys and a bunch of other people. You don't have to bring me stuff. I'm not there to accept gifts, but I love talking to the viewers and hearing what you have to say, because I'm doing this not only for myself, but I'm doing it for you. So it's awesome to actually meet some of you face to face. So what did I learn from this one? I need to take more lower priced items, and I said that 2 weeks ago, didn't I? And I was actually sick all last week, so I was going to use last week to make all these lower price items under $20 to take to the show, and I got really sick, and it's just not good to be in a dusty environment when you're sick, so I never got a chance to do that. And another thing that I learned is I need to stick to larger handmade events, something with a good history, especially if I'm traveling. If this was in Toledo, it wouldn't have been so bad, because I just would have, packed up and gone home. But I was in Cleveland, and there was driving cost and hotel cost and everything, but it worked out. I was just hoping to make a little bit more, but it was fun nonetheless. All right, wrapping things up. My question for you guys this week is, what was your biggest accomplishment in 2014? Mine was starting the wrap-up review and doing all these project reviews, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. So I want to hear what your accomplishments were. What did you learn? What did you do in 2014 that you're really proud of? So leave your answers in the comments below, and I also encourage you to reply to other people's comments. Let's use the comment section as a little mini forum. And if you're new to this channel, I put out new woodworking videos every week. And if you like what I do, you can buy me a beer at this link over here, which is a money donation. And this week I would like to thank the guy that slipped me some cash at Manly Mart in Cleveland. I forgot your name. I'm sorry, but thank you. I would also like to thank Mario G, who brought me a 6-pack of Great Lakes Christmas Ale at Manly Mart, so that was good. I already drank 4 of them. Those things are, they're tasty. And then Brian McCree from Fort Worth, Texas. Rob Hooley from Leeds, England. Every time I see Leeds, I think of The Who live at Leeds. William Riley from Taunton, Massachusetts. And Ross Carper from Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. Be safe, stay passionate, and make something.